Tutorial 4, Creating an Advanced Maintenance App. In this video, we'll begin constructing a more feature-rich application, building on and expanding the knowledge that we've acquired in the previous videos. We will build an application that contains business details. It will contain a list of business information at the top. In an element below, we'll have a detail section that displays this information and also allows us to add new information. And on the right-hand side, we'll have a notes section, and here users will be able to add notes to particular businesses. We will begin by opening the analysis model Contacts and adding a new stream to it that will hold our business information. Drag in a stream and we'll call this Businesses. Set the period to transactional, as users will be editing this in real time. We'll now add a set of attributes, the full details of which can be found in the notes section below. Note that when we add the annual turnover, we set the scale to 2. And this will use 2 decimal places. Also, in a moment we'll add a description, and this will be set to big string so that we can support HTML formatting. And now save your changes. We'll add a third stream to our analysis model, and this is where we'll hold the business notes. Call this Business Notes. Set the period to transactional. We'll add again a set of attributes, the full details of which can be found in the notes section below. Save your changes and we'll move to the contact stream. Select the stream and its configuration window will open. We're going to add a view that we can add to our businesses dashboard so we can see the associated contacts. Go down to the View section and use the green plus to add a new view. We'll call this Business Contacts, and we'll use it in our dashboard later on. Save your changes, and this will allow us to add new attributes, or view attributes, to our view. Select all the attributes and drag these into the View Attributes area. We'll hide the UID by double-clicking on it and selecting the Hidden property on that view attribute. Before we continue, we'll select all of the streams and use the Align and Distribute button at the top of the canvas to tidy up our model. Save your changes, and now we'll look at creating the Businesses dashboard. Right-click on Dashboards and add a new dashboard. This will be called Businesses, and we'll build the dashboard that we saw at the beginning of the video. Select Open Maximized so that when we open this dashboard, it fills the screen. We'll create a vertical divider and a horizontal divider, so now we can see where we're going to add the grid, the details form and our notes. We'll use the navigation bar at the bottom to access our analysis model. Select Businesses and this will open up the business configuration form. As we did in the first video, drag the icon across and we'll create a grid view. We'll select all of the attributes and drag them to the header of this new grid. With the grid created, we'll now look at creating the details form in the bottom element. Right-click and create new form. Select the form, and we'll call this Business Details. In a moment, we'll add a tabs component so we can view both the details of the business and also our contact details. Right-click and open the basic component palette. Select the tab component and drag that into the lower element. Select the tab component and right-click and use Find in Explorer to locate the tabs. Select the tabs and we'll need to reposition it so it takes up the whole screen. We'll remove the top section here for the positioning and set it to 0 so that the tabs take up the entire element. Now we'll rename each of the tabs. Select the tab label and we'll call this Business. Select the label of the second tab. We'll rename this Business Details. Save your changes and we'll move back to the first tab. Here we're going to use the template that we created previously to populate our form. Open up the Layout Template section and drag in the standard action form. Now we need to add some attributes. We'll go to our analysis model and select the business's stream. Pin this so we can keep using it. Select all of the attributes, hold the Shift key and drag these over the body area of the new form. Select the title and change this to details. We'll now arrange the attributes in the body area. Select UID, and as we've seen previously, we'll go to the style settings and choose hidden. This will hide our UID. Now we can look to logically order the attributes on the screen. Once you've ordered the attributes logically, we'll turn our attention to the description field. We'll drag the borders of this to make it much larger so that we can add a large description. To avoid inadvertently moving our tabs component, let's find it in the Explorer, and in its properties we'll go down to the position settings and set prevent dragging. Save your changes and we'll refine the business's view above. Right click and select show the stream view configuration, and this will allow us to directly edit the view. It's always a good idea to add a default sort order to any view. Give it a logical name and then select the attribute we want to sort by. In our case, we'll use the name. Save your changes and drag the UID from the view onto the form below. This will create a dynamic link as we saw earlier. Add some dynamic text that will display the name of the business that we've selected. To do this, hold Shift and drag the A next to the details title. We can't see it, so if we use the right click, find an Explorer, we can locate in the header area our new dynamic text, and we'll call this name. As name is also the name of an attribute on the stream backing our form, PhixFlow will automatically link the value held in our attribute with the new component. In our case, this is dynamic text. However, it would also work with any other component. Also, if you give a component the name of a context variable, PhixFlow will also link the context variable value to our new component. If we have both a stream attribute and a context variable, it's always the stream attribute that takes precedence. We need to style our new dynamic text so that it looks the same as the existing title. Navigate to Shared Titles, and under our Contact Manager application, we'll use the title style. We'll remove the width and the height so that our dynamic text will automatically expand to the size of its content. Switch to app mode, and now we can test our new dashboard. Complete the details for a business. We'll see the dynamic text get populated, and we can also test that our action buttons are functioning as expected. And now we'll add the contact details for the business. Switch back to design mode and select the Contacts Details tab. From the repository, open up the Contacts Analysis model and select the stream. We'll pin it so we can keep using all the features within this configuration form. From the Views section, drag across the Business Contacts view that we created earlier. You may need to refresh this to see the column headers. We've created both the business list area and the details list that we saw at the start of the video. And over the next few videos, we'll look at enriching these further and also adding the notes section.